Hello and welcome to Tabletop War James. Today I'm going to show you how to take a tile from this and step it up and bring it to something like this. See you in a bit. So here's what you're going to need. You're going to need the AK corrosion texture. This is a fantastic product. It gives a lot of texture to the terrain. Then you're going to need some dirty down rust. This stuff is literally magic in a bottle. Highly recommend you pick some of this up. Then we're going to use some Modeller's World oil washes. We're going to use a fresh rust and a old rust. First up, we're going to use the AK interactive corrosion texture. This stuff's like a sandy paste with a brown sort of tint to it. It does dry quite clear, but it does also leave a sort of brown sort of tinge staining to the board as well. But what we're going to do is going to put this in all the recesses. Anywhere you want the rust to be, this is where we're going to put the paste. What you can see here is I'm using like a stippling almost motion, just to try and don't brush it on because it doesn't look great. Stipple it because then it gives you all the lovely texture, which the dirty down rust, which we'll put on after this, really adds to the effect of what the dirty down does. So yeah, I'll let you watch what I'm doing, and I'll be back in a bit. As it's dry now, you can see what I mean. It leaves like a sort of brownish sort of tinge, but it's still relatively clear because you can see through it. But I've gone around all the scrap piles on the tile, I've gone around all the edges, I've put it in corners and everything else, and that's it. Pretty simple really. Next up, we're going to use the dirty down rust. This stuff is absolutely amazing. Give it a good shake and then use again an old brush. Try and use a synthetic brush as well because it will destroy other brushes. Unless it's an old brush, then it doesn't really matter. What we're going to do is we're literally just going to slap this on over all the textured areas that we've just done, and the texture really helps to make this work better, because when you put this on flat surfaces it doesn't look great, but when you put it over a textured surface it really helps bring that rust to life. So as you can see here, I'm just stippling it on. Don't want really straight edges, we're trying to stipple it, and I'll just let you guys watch me go over the tile, and I'll be back in a bit. Cheers. So at this point the dirty down rust isn't quite fully dry, it's still slightly damp, but this is just showing you where I've put it all on the tile. What we're going to do next is I take my my airbrush and I put water in it. You can just use a brush with water. I go over the whole tile, I wet down all the rust areas, just using water, and this helps to give you it sort of thins it out a little bit. It is water soluble, so you sort of spray it over with water and then go over with a brush after, and just stipple it again, and it sort of spreads it out and then fades the edges a little bit more and gives you a better effect as well, especially with all that texture on there. This is where the texture is really important, and you'll see on the next step how important that texture is, because it helps bring out the rust and helps it pull and things like that. So this is me just showing you taking an old brush, and all we're going to do is dip it in water. We've pre-wet the tile using the airbrush, and you can already see how the edges are starting to sort of fade out a little bit, and you can see how the rust is also changing colour. So we're getting like a lighter orange, we're getting the deep oranges like for old rust, you're getting the light orange for the new rust, and it really does make a difference going over it with water and using a brush. And you can see here why that texture is so important, because it really clings to the texture. So here it is all dry, and you can see the lighter oranges, the deeper oranges, and this is where we go in with the two Modeller's World oil washes. These are great because they're pre-thinned perfectly in the pot, and you just use them straight out of the bottle. But I just decant it into this little plastic tub to keep things tidy, because every time I use it I just wipe the tub out. These are for business cards, I think. My partner got business cards for work, and they came in these boxes, and I got them, and they're brilliant. Just any sort of tub do. And then all we're going to do is we're going to take the oil washes. We're starting off with the old rust, and we're just flooding areas of the tile. As you can see, I'm literally just loading the brush up, putting it on the tile and letting it do its thing. And we're going to do this all over the tile in just random areas, and then we will also go in with the fresh rust and do the same thing. We'll do some blending with them as well, where we literally just let them run together. But as you can see, I'm literally just dabbing it on and letting it do its thing. Once you're done with the old rust, we're going to do the exact same thing with the fresh rust. As you can see, I've decanted it into a tub again, and then what we're going to do is we're literally just going to dab it on like we did before. Sometimes on top of what we've already done, because then they sort of mix themselves together, but as you can see, I'm just literally dabbing it on in random places next to the old rust, on its own in places, and just doing the exact same thing as we've done before. And that's it, guys. This is it completed. This is everything dry. As you can see the oils on there. You can see the dirty down rust effects that has really gone with the bright oranges, the dark deep browns in it as well. It's such a good effect. It is literally magic in a bottle. But you can see why that texture that you put on first is so important, because it helps you, as you can see here in the close-ups, you can see the texture, and it helps bring that rust to life a little bit more. So guys, enjoy this little the table thing, and I'll see you next time on Table Talk Wargames. Hope it helped. Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you next time, guys. Take care. Happy wargaming.